Congratulations again. We've been talking for about a year and a half about your visions on the economy. So far, what do you want the president to include in his speech from your department?
Well, Brian, President previewed his speech with some of the cabinet members yesterday, and he's got so many accomplishments. On the economic side, I think thus far one of the biggest wins for the American people is since Election Day and since inauguration, mortgage rates have come down dramatically. Both the level of the 10-year bond and the spread between the 10-year and mortgage rates, which I think is an effect of the bank deregulation we're going to do. So that, I anticipate.
Does that affect credit cards too?
Well, the interest rates will affect credit cards. It'll affect auto loans. And the bottom 50% of Americans over the past 2 years have gotten crushed by these high interest rates. So we're set on bringing interest rates down. And I think that's one of the great accomplishments so far.
And also, when you talk about energy, you guys are doing this, making it clearly a focus. Is the market looking at what you plan to do with energy and reacting on the promise of what you're doing? Because you've only been there, 7 weeks?
Yeah, so Brian, markets live in the future. There's a futures curve, and the market understands President Trump's plan for energy dominance. And the Secretary Burgum, Secretary Wright, the super strong members of the cabinet are following President Trump's priority for drilling, unleashing U.S. energy, crude oil, natural gas. We're going big in nuclear, and we are going to, it's going to bring down costs, but we're also going to become major exporters of energy, which will make the world more secure.
Because Japan wanted our natural gas, we weren't giving it to them. Europe wants our natural gas, we weren't producing it, but we were capable of, but for somehow the green focus on the previous administration won over.
Well, Brian, yesterday, President Trump, they sent out a truth that said that the European Union has paid more for their energy bill to Russia than they've given to Ukraine in aid.
How could they do that? Because there's a ban on that. Are they doing it through third parties?
No, that's the pre-existing nat gas and things like that. Those are the pipelines. And you can buy it. You can buy Russian energy as long as you're adhering to the price cap.
So tariffs went into effect yesterday. China got 10% on all imports, Mexico 25%, Canada on 25%. That promise of tariffs had the market tank. Can you tell us what it's going to be like today, and what do you think this will do for the economy?
Look, I think over the medium term, which is what we're focused on, it's a focus on Main Street. Wall Street's done great. Wall Street can continue to do fine, but we have a focus on small business and the consumers. So we are going to rebalance the economy. We're going to bring manufacturing jobs home. We are going to continue the surge in small business confidence that was at a record level when President Trump came in. We're cutting red tape, we're cutting regulations, and we're going to get bank lending going again.
So when you talk about, do you think prices might go up initially, or do you think that in a few months we'll be seeing more companies moving manufacturing back, like Honda promised to do yesterday?
Well, Brian, there's going to be a transition period, but I will tell you, on the China tariffs, China's business model is export, 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 and that's unacceptable. They're in the middle of a financial crisis right now that they're trying to export their way out of it. So with the China tariffs, I am highly confident that the Chinese manufacturers will eat the tariffs. Prices won't go up. With Canada and Mexico, I think we're in the middle of a transition, and just like you mentioned, Honda moving to Indiana is a great start.
So tell me about the affordability czar and how that could affect inflation. How does that person's going to focus on bringing prices down?
Yeah, so Brian, there's affordability and then there's inflation. Inflation is slowing. Still not back to the Fed's target area. Affordability is this massive spike that we saw over the past 2 and 4 years, and we're going to try to bring the prices back down, whether it's insurance, whether it's housing. And a lot of this is going to be done through deregulation. I think one of the untold stories for the past 2 and 4 years is the amount of regulation that the previous administration put on households, several $1,000s of administrative burdens every year. And if we can cut that red tape and bring that down, then that's an excellent start on the affordability.
And last question. You had money, your family lost it all. You've been working since you were 9 years old. How does that play into how you approach your job every day?
Brian, I am a risk manager, and I think about, I'm a market person, but I'm a Main Street person. And Mr. Kilmeade came to Washington today. I came from a small town in South Carolina. I'm here in Washington, D.C. 25% of the nation's economy flows around this 10-mile area. And so, like the rest of the administration, like President Trump, we are laser focused on watching cost and bringing down the deficit, not getting out over our skis financially.
So you work here, but your mind is out of the 50 states beyond here.
Yes, sir.